Corey Simons, thanks so much for joining us today. We're here to talk a little bit about Battle of the Boot, as well as your team and the opportunities that we all have for this tournament. On the call, we have Adam from the Times News in town here, and we have Caleb Jones, who's our Assistant Sports Information Director. But we've got the Battle of the Boot, which is maybe the best junior college tournament in the country, and Jason Vickery and the J Foundation, and the message of the J Foundation of mental health and suicide prevention is what we're kind of getting together for, as well as playing some elite basketball. And, Coach, you have the tall task of playing South Plains, who's number one in the country, and no one knows junior college basketball better than you. You've been doing it a long time. And tell us about yourself, your journey. Let us know a little bit about yourself, and then tell us about your team a little bit.
Yeah, well, first off, thanks to Coach and for having us at the tournament. This is going to be great. We're excited to be a part of this big event. And another shout out to Jason Vickery and Title One and the J Foundation. What they do is amazing. I've got to know it pretty well. My daughter plays at Wyoming, and just last week, the J Foundation was out there with the women's basketball. My daughter got her pair of boots, and they did the whole thing out there at University of Wyoming last week. So it's kind of funny. And I go way back to where I actually coached against Coach Vickery when he was with GoStar staff there at CSI back in the day. So a little bit about me. I've been a JUCO guy for a while. I'm starting my 21st year here at NIC. My 11th as the head coach. I was an assistant for 10. And then my former boss, Jared Fay, actually went down and took the job at CSI for a few years, and I stayed here and took over here. JUCO basketball is my passion. I love it. As Coach knows, in this business, everybody's looking for stuff. I've had some opportunities to move on, but this is just kind of where I dig my heels in and love to do it, love to help these kids get on to the next level. I'm from Coeur d'Alene. I played here. I'm an alumni. I played here in 92, 93. So it's kind of just a piece of the family, piece of my heart to be here at NIC. So I'm a veteran here, I guess, at this spot. Been here 21 years, and maybe I should start looking before they send me packing.
You and me both, Coach. You and me both.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to overdo your stay, and I think I'm probably pretty close to that.
Coach, listen, I've known you for a long time, and you coming back into the Scenic West is, a lot of us aren't happy about it, but they're unhappy for the right reason, because a quality men's basketball program has now come into our league. And, you know what it was like, 30 some years ago and how strong it was. And we are very strong now that you've joined the league and made the league better. That's for sure. What people don't understand, from my perspective, we brought in our rival. And that rivalry is really good for junior college athletics, our fans, and everybody. And as much as I don't like playing you, it is great.
It's likewise.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's a pain. But your first year, you were planning on being the NWAC, and you ended up in our league. And you were very, very good for not being ready for that.
Yeah, we were talented. We had a chance. And like you said, the rivalry is huge. Going back to the NWAC, or leaving the NWAC, coming back here just last year when you guys came into town, that was the first time we've had a sellout crowd in 5-6 years. Just the name of CSI coming back in that rivalry between the two Idaho schools. Everybody knew. It doesn't matter how good one of us is or the other one is. It's always going to be a battle just because of the history there.
Yep. So, Coach, tell us about your team. I know a little bit. I've been trying to watch you from afar, but I'll get to see you this in a couple of weeks anyhow, so I'm not really worried about that. I know you're going to be good. I know it's going to come down to a 50-50 game, just the way it is when you play rivalry games. But so our fans, you're going to be playing South Plains. Tell us about, players that we should be watching. Obviously, we know one guy that's maybe up for Player of the Year in our league, one of the best players in the country. Tell us about him.
Yeah, I think Vaughn Weems is arguably one of the top guards in the country. He's a 6'5", 6'6", kind of he played the four for us last year. He played the four in high school, big time athlete. Coming out of high school, he was kind of that positionless. He kind of went under the radar because nobody kind of knew what position he could play. He's going to be playing more of the wing for us now. He's shooting the ball better, handling it better. Big time athlete. I mean, a high major athlete. He'll be hanging around the rim with some of your guys, but shooting it well, playing a lot better on both ends of the floor defensively. He's taken a couple of visits here, and just over the last couple of weeks here with the jamborees, he's kind of blown up into some high major looks and some high major interest, and so he's got a big future ahead of him. He's kind of going to be our leader. We picked up two big transfers that I'm really excited about. One in Dang Du out of Northeastern, 6'7" forward, had a good year last year down at Northeastern, and wanted a new change, so we picked him up. He was a really good player out of Region 9. Kind of a below the rim guy, but he's kind of fundamental, good footwork, high motor, plays his tail off at both ends of the floor. Then another big one we picked up out of Region 9 too, with the coaching changes and stuff at Central Wyoming, was Sam Marbury. He led Region 9 in scoring last year. He was a first team all region guy out there. So those three are kind of our key upperclassmen, kind of sophomores. I got a returning point guard, Jeremiah Sibley, that redshirted for us last year due to a knee injury, blew out his knee at the beginning of the year. He's been with me 3 years, so he'll bring a little bit of leadership. And then we picked up a lot of good transfers and some freshmen. We got Gage Ontiveros, big 6'10" kid out of Pocatello, Washington. Big body, big fundamental kid. Plays similar to some of your bigs, not as athletic, obviously, but he really fundamental skill, can go over both shoulders. We picked up a big guy in Ja'Cory Irving, who's a big name, 6'11" athletic kid, but he's a little bit of a project. High athlete, big time athlete, shot blocker, dunker, rim runner. As you know, Coach, he just kind of thinks that he should be in the NBA, not at North Idaho College.
Is that the kid from Washington?
Yeah.
They played in Spokane?
Yeah, if he figures it out, he'll be good. I just don't know if he'll figure it out with me or with somebody else.
Coach, listen, if there's anybody that can take those guys and turn them around, it's you. I've seen you do it time and time again. You're way better at it than I am. Tell us about your game versus South Plains. What's your thought process heading into that one?
We're going to have to come in at South Plains. We're going to have to come in and be fundamental. We're going to have to come in and be disciplined. I'm really excited. We got a good game to kind of get us going here early. We're at Casper this weekend, which isn't going to be an easy game by no means. But I think that'll kind of get us a little bit of that athleticism that South Plains is going to have. Obviously, if you look at South Plains roster, they're just loaded from top to bottom. So if we come out and try to get into a track meet and try to just outplay them, we're going to be in trouble. I think we need to really coach them up, be fundamental, be disciplined, take care of the basketball, limit turnovers. As you know, a team like that, you turn the ball over, those live ball turnovers can turn into a quick 10-point run. They're just loaded from top to bottom. I mean, we all know their roster and what they have. So I think we got to kind of come up with a different game plan. It was similar to what we had to do a little bit last year with you guys and with Salt Lake. We didn't have, in my opinion, we didn't have as much talent as you guys, so we kind of had to have some game plan and some strategy, mix it up a little bit, do some different things. Play a little bit of zone, mix it up, try to keep them on their toes. Because if we just come out there and try to just get up and down with them, we'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
So we just got to execute, take care of the ball. The biggest thing with us is that they're taking care of the ball against teams like that, because you turn that thing over and they're off to the races.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the big thing for us, is just kind of sticking to our game plan, knowing our game plan, knowing that if we try to play them at their game, it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. So, Coach, Jason Vickery is going to sponsor the tournament next year, and his number one thing is he wanted you and Casper and Western Wyoming back. And those are the three teams he's requested. And you and I have talked, and hopefully you'll be a mainstay of this tournament. We kind of set this tournament up because it's hard to play, the top 10 teams in the country where it's not a home court advantage, right? So it's a neutral court. If any team probably feels more comfortable here, it's you. Like it's a court that you're used to. It's a fan base that probably will end up cheering for you
Yeah.
since you're here from Idaho. It's the North and South Idaho thing, and we wanted to set this tournament up where we bring in three national teams, and then have an opportunity to play them and bring in college coaches to watch them, and it to be special. How do you think that fits with your philosophy of scheduling?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I think this is the best thing to happen for us. And again, thanks for the invite. This is huge for us because, as we know, with the RPI and just with us in our league, as good as our league is, um, we want to be as challenged as we can in the preseason because we know when we get to you guys in Salt Lake and Snow and USU. I mean, our league is tough.
Yeah,
So we don't. I don't want cakewalks. I don't want teams that we know we can beat in league. We want to play the best teams in the country that we can. I think I have one of the toughest non-conference schedules. I mean, our schedule is brutal. We're in Texas on the Texas road trip.
yeah,
So I love it. I love it because I think we're gonna know in 2 weeks where we're at, what we need to
yeah,
work
yeah.
on, what we got to do to get to the top. Because obviously South Plains is there, and no better way to kind of see where you're at than playing the best right off the bat.
Yeah. I think this. I think if you look at our league, Salt Lake and Snow are playing Harcum in Western Nebraska, down in Ephraim this weekend. You're going to Casper and playing out there. We've got Yavapai coming in as well as Daytona State, who's number 3 in the country.
Yeah,
So I think our league has really upped the non-conference schedule and stepped out to go play people, and I think that helps everybody.
absolutely. Yeah,
So,
absolutely. That's the tough thing with our league is the tough thing with our league going back to when I was in it before is we usually start out with 2 or 3 in the top 25 and we beat up on each other so much that
yeah,
it hurts us sometimes.
yeah, it does. So on this call, we have Adam Engel, who's from the local newspaper, and would like to ask some questions, and then Caleb will have some follow up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach. I guess just to start, I know you mentioned the transition going back from the NWAC to the Scenic West. From your perspective, what have been some of the biggest adjustments you've had to make just overall going from NWAC back to NJCAA?
The biggest adjustment is obviously just the recruiting piece. I've said this before, and I've been asked this question a million times in the comparison. And my analogy is kind of like, the NWAC is a great league. There's nothing wrong. It's like going from the Big Sky. If you're coaching in the Big Sky, and then you take a job in the Pac-12. They're both great leagues, but the Pac-12 just has better players in it overall. So the recruiting is the biggest piece. Is getting out and trying to recruit national level players. The size is a lot different. There's a lot more bigs in the national league, so you got to go out and get a lot more bigs, a lot more athleticism. So that's been the biggest thing is just chasing the players that will help us compete against a CSI or a Salt Lake, and in that aspect, it's like I said, 90% of it's just the recruiting side.
Sure, Coach. And I know at the beginning of the call you talked about the key transfers, especially those guys from Region 9. But I was looking, I guess, uh, uh, what can you say about the Campbell transfer that you have from Turkey? Is there anything about him that's worth knowing?
Yeah, Mehmet Beener, he's gonna be really good for us. He's right now he's just kind of learning my system and having sometimes those foreign kids, it takes them a little bit longer to kind of get into the system and get in with us. He played really well for us in the last jamboree. We're really excited about him. I think he's fighting for that starting point guard spot, and I think if he can take that and kind of limit his mistakes and do what we're asking, I think he could be a really big factor for us, come conference time.
Okay, Caleb.
Yeah, Coach. Kind of back to the Battle of the Boot. More kind of the format of the tournament. What kind of challenges or opportunities are presented to your team with that 3-day tournament? 3 games in 3 days. Not necessarily a true win or go home, but a win and advance to another kind of almost bigger game. What kind of challenges or opportunities are you seeing there?
The big thing that I love about it is the back to back to back. Because we do a lot of those in throughout the non-conference. Like I said, I'm going to Texas and playing 3 Texas schools 3 days in a row, and most of our non-conference are kind of back-to-back Friday, Saturday games. So it's great for us to play at South Plains and come out with a win or a loss and be able to respond right away and get our team to respond right away. Because you know our league, that's how our league is. We're going to play on a Thursday, Saturday, and we're going to take a win or take a loss, and you got about 24 to 48 hours to bounce back and get things figured out for the next go around. So I love that aspect of it, being able to play right away. I don't love the aspect of having to potentially play CSI again, but hopefully we can both meet there in the championship. If we do that, then it'll be worth it. But the whole aspect of that tournament play is just great. Your guys got to be locked in every second.
We are on Wednesday. We have a banquet that's down at the Kodo Brewing Company, a big partner of ours and sponsor of ours. It's going to be really, really good. I think we'll get good response from our boosters, and we really want to make that special like it used to be in the old days where you'd have a following and people would come and watch, and it's really great for your kids. We think that's going to be great. And then obviously you get to take your team through the J Foundation and the message of mental health and suicide prevention. And your guys are going to be getting some cowboy boots. And you and I coach some kids that have never been in cowboy boots, and it's going to be a unique thing. It's great to see the excitement that they do get from that, and it's funny to see them later on through the year, using those boots as well.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that. So my son played for Colby in the AAU, and he took those guys through the JA Foundation, and he got a pair of boots this summer. And literally last night was the first time he put them on for a swing dance, and he's like, "Dad, I finally get to wear my boots."
Yeah, and so
he's not a cowboy boot guy.
Yeah, neither am I. But every year, a couple of times each year, I put on those boots for a game, and you think about why you're putting them on, the message that they have, and it's a really good event. Hey, Corey, we're pumped to have you come down, and we're all going to be stressed. We're all going to be fighting. We're all going to be competing. It'll be great for our fans. We'll have some national exposure. We'll have some of those people here to watch, and hopefully it benefits all our programs.
No, this will be great. Thanks for having us, and thanks again to Vickery and the JA Foundation. This is exciting. We're pumped.